Hi guys, I hope all is well. Chamion here. I am going to do fried chicken today. It's a requested demo. I am not going to say it is Trinidad and Tobago fried chicken because it isn't. I wanna take this time again to speak about something that's a little somewhat it's becoming an issue. I want to take the time to say that everyone does things their own way. And if for some reason you don't like how somebody do something, anyone, it's as simple as not watching what they do. You don't repeatedly come and watch something that you don't like their style of doing anything in life. You don't repeatedly come and watch what they are doing just to dislike or hate. It's not cool. Things like that is not cool, and it's not adult behavior, right? I want to address that, and I want to say whatever I do, I know what I am doing. I want to say that from a very humble place. Right, because time and time again, first to begin with, Food by Chamion was just born out of a passion that I have, okay? That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just pure passion, right? And I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it, and that's all I am doing. So I said before, if you are new to my my channel, I've been cooking since I was 12 years old, or probably younger than that, and this is how I became the cook that I am. Right? So if you do something differently, it doesn't mean that I am doing it wrong because I do it different to you. It just means that we all do things differently. That's what it means. And we have to understand that we live in a world with a lot of different persons, and we have to respect that. So I needed to cover that. Having covered that, because I see it being, like I said again, time and time again, an issue, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Please let's remember, I'm speaking from a very humble place. This is my channel, and I want to be free to cook and teach with the techniques and methods I have learned and that I do over the years. And I have a lot of supporters, and I'm thankful for them, and they do what I do, they follow me, and they get the same results. So if you, for some reason, you might not like my style of cooking, just please, you don't have to watch everything I do just to dislike it. Just refrain from being on my channel, please. Having covered that, I'm going to do, like I say, some requested fried chicken. I want to say that it is not Trinidad and Tobago fried chicken, because I can sense already what's going to happen. I am using dry rub for my fried chicken, just like I do with my fish, my fried fish at times, and my barbecue and my baked meats. I am using a dry rub, and the dry rub that I'm using is Old Bay. For those of you that might be concerned, Chamion, I may not get Old Bay. It's as simple as using a dry rub. Is really just what it says. It's some dry powder or dehydrated seasoning. So you can use onion powder, you can use garlic powder, you can use paprika. A lot of times in most of the dry rub, there's paprika, there's a bit of brown sugar and things like that. Paprika is what gives it its reddish color. If you see the chicken that I have here, it's somewhat looking kind of reddish. And if you think about paprika, that's what paprika does. Paprika or chili powder gives that color with dry rub. If you like heat, you can also use chili powder. If you look at the color of the chili powder, you will see the color that is very close to that. So for some heat, they will also use that, right? So I am moving on now. I already have my my deep fryer set up. Well, of course, you may not have a deep fryer. If you have, it's good. Just simply use traditional pot, frying pot, or a deep pot, not a frying pot, a deep pot. You don't want to use a shallow pot, a deep pot, and make sure it distributes heat evenly. Don't use any tin pots for cooking, not just only frying, but anything, because you run the risk of burning and so forth, right? So I'm using all thigh today. If you don't know, thigh is considered the darker part of the chicken. The breast is considered white meat. So just for even cooking time and so forth, I'm using all thighs, right? You want to make sure you clean your chicken and all of that. And like I say, it's just Old Bay I'm using, because this is the way I usually fry chicken. I don't do anything additional, okay? So I'm about to, I have some flour here. I'm using regular flour. If for some reason you can't tolerate somehow you only eat stuff without gluten, look for flour that is gluten free. You can also use corn flour, which we call here in Trinidad and Tobago cornmeal, to fry your chicken or fish with, right? It's just a bit gritty. You can also use Italian breadcrumbs. What I'll say is, with my experience using Italian breadcrumbs for well over a decade, it darkens stuff quickly, like meat. So you want to watch out for things like that. So you might have to do a mixture of both if you want to do it, right? Sometimes I will also mix flour and corn flour together, right? So I'm just going to season up I have some rubs that I got at a specialty place here in West Trinidad, right? And you can use rubs like those. There's a number of rubs available, a number. You can also do a Chinese style fried chicken using or Asian powdered seasonings, and don't put flour on it. So you're going to fry it in the state. Once you use the Asian seasonings, you're going to just fry it without flour, minus the flour. I know you all understood what I said, so I want to move on. The two brands that I have, because it might come up as a question, one is Rub With Love by Tom Douglas. It's also gluten-free. And the other one is Stonewall Kitchen brand Spice Rub. It's for different types of meat. So you see here chicken and pork rub. This one is more like, I will say, if I'm to describe it, you get more Italian herbs in there, right? It's more like on that side of things. This one is not, right? This is a smoky barbecue rub, as I said just now. So I just wanted to cover that. Old Bay is an international brand of seafood and poultry seasoning. They also use it for salads, right? So I'm just going to get some. Be careful with Old Bay. Don't use salt when you're using it. It is a complete salted seasoning, okay? So I'm just going to get a bit of salt in my flour. You always want to season your flour, because what could happen is it could just make your meat taste bland even though you season your meat. So I'm going to use my Stonewall Kitchen brand main sea salt. I'm going to use a bit in it. Not too much. Just enough to make sure the flour isn't bland. Right? And then I'm going to finish putting some freshly cracked black pepper in it. About there is good. It's not big sea salt, right? So I'm going to use my Stonewall Kitchen brand also. Got at the same specialty gourmet store in West Trinidad brand of it's a medley, a mixed peppercorn medley. So it's all colors. Freshly cracked pepper is quite a thing in the culinary world. It became a number of years now, and it's just lovely. It's not powdered stuff sitting. So you get really intense flavors when you use it, right? You want to put enough. If you don't like black pepper, well, use like the same paprika in your flour and the other stuff that I showed. The chili powder, right? So you just want to use like a fork to get it incorporated. And I don't dredge my chicken ever. By that I mean, a lot of persons internationally, they will put it in some buttermilk first, or even an egg wash. Time and time again I said what is an egg wash, but I don't take things for granted and tell myself it's only my regulars will be watching. So I always explain an egg wash is like a mixture of eggs and water. That's all it is, right? I don't see any need to do the egg wash method. What I can tell you all, if you want chicken that's somewhat crispy, I'm going to demonstrate the technique of that for you all. If you want the skin, you know, a lot of the fast food places, they get the skin really crispy. It's as simple as just getting your chicken wet with water. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to demonstrate that for you all. So let me just put this first piece into the basket, and I'm just going to demonstrate that what I'm speaking about for you all. Always reserve stuff only for your kitchen. The black pepper is everywhere from just now when I use the grinder. So I have this bottle that I use specifically for my kitchen if I'm grilling and so forth to get wet the meat, right? You get a bottle that's clear like this one and use it only for your kitchen. So if you look, the chicken is dry now, right? So you saw when I put the first batch in the flour. You just want to do this. What this is going to do is going to help it pick up a lot more flour and be a lot more, not too much, yeah? So about that. Same goes for the under part. I'm going to demonstrate it with one for you all to see. And you just get it into your flour. So the actual how it's going to go on is going to be a lot different when you don't wet it. When you fry it, you are going to see the difference, right? Even in the bowl there, it can get an egg spritz. So you have like literal, you know. So I'll give it an egg spritz in the bowl. Not too much, just a bit. Right, and I'm going to just roll it again. Always throw away any unused bits of flour and breadcrumbs or whatever you are using to coat your meats with it. Don't use it over. Dump it immediately. So if you watch in the basket, I will only do 2 at a time. You see comparison with the one that was moistened using the water versus the one that I just used without the water. You'll be able to compare for yourself. Right? So just remember that. Just remember that tip that I gave. I'm about to just put it down to fry. It's going to take a couple of minutes to fry, of course. Right? So I'm considering greatly at this point coming back on because I don't like to keep you all unnecessary. So I'm going to have to shut down and I'm going to come back when we have finished cooking because you want that meat to cook properly. You don't want to rush the cooking of it. You want to make sure even if outside looks somewhat nice, you have to play it safe and make sure the inside is thoroughly cooked. So what I'll do, like I said, I'll shut down and I'm going to come back for you all to see final product. Right? So I'm going to be back soon. Just keep watching.